Welcome back everybody to the second episode. We're going to be looking at some functions. We're going to start with some simple spawn commands and then construct a default data pack. So to go all the way up to spawn and set the spawn commands up, I'm just going to teleport all the way up there. And I've got these two command blocks. So these two are going to be used to initiate when a player logs in for the first time. So what we need to do is teleport a player in this position. We know that's 8208, so I'm going to copy that with Control-C, and I'm going to paste that into this command block. And that's just going to keep the position of this block here. Then we want to teleport player to it. I'm going to just do all players, and then it's going to be 8208. Now the reason you don't want to just leave this command like this is because if we set a lever on it, let's see if I can reach this. Yeah, I can. Then I can't move. Okay, so we've got this command block that's constantly teleporting us, and we don't really want that, right? So we're going to use something called tags. So if I do tag @p list, you're going to see I already have one on me, and I can remove it at p, tag @p, remove spawn, and I can add it the same way, just changing remove to add. And we can actually detect if a player has a tag by doing tag equals and then the name of the tag. So this would teleport every player that has the tag spawned to 8208. But when you spawn in, you're not going to have that tag. You're going to have really no data attached to you for the first time, at least. Instead of tag equals spawned, we went not tag equals spawned. And in programming, that's usually showed with this exclamation point. So that's like a negation, or it says like not spawned. So it'll teleport all players that don't have the tag spawned to 8208. So now if we do this, we're stuck here again. And then if I add the tag spawned, then I'm free. Just like that. So now we want to combine this command and paste that in here. I want to make sure that this doesn't always run. So I'm going to add this, the same tag equals not spawned, and then it'll add spawn. So this will only tag a person with spawned if they don't have the tag spawned. This is kind of redundant a little bit, but I think it improves performance because it searches for only players with the tag of not spawned. So now if we add this and then remove the tag spawn, it'll teleport us just once. And actually we can set this to always active. So every time we remove tag spawned, it'll teleport us right to 8208, just like that. But remember in the first episode, we wanted to look this way to ensure that everybody looks at the stuff that you want to set up before you start the game, which is on the opposite side. So what we're going to do is add a rotation to the teleport command. And that's simple as finding the coordinates and then adding them to this at the end of this teleport command. So to find the coordinates or the degrees of rotation that we want to use, we want to look here. So it gives it facing south and then towards positive z, but most importantly these two coordinates. So if I look around, you can see them change. South, the direction we want, is actually 0 0. So let's add a 0 0 at the end of that. So now if I remove spawned, I always face this direction when I get that tag. So now that we've got these first couple commands set up and they're running on a 20 ticks per second clock, we kind of want to start a data pack because usually command blocks that are constantly running are just a little bit less efficient. Functions are usually a lot more optimized. Okay, so here we are on my desktop. And I've already created a few links for us to kind of cheat through. So we've got the 1.14.4 jar that's useful for texture packs. That's more for reference because it's technically illegal to use the content from this file inside of a map. Okay, so along with that, we've got the .minecraft shortcut and then the program shortcut. So let's go straight to the .minecraft shortcut. Let's just jump to saves and then let's find Great Big Map. So then we go to data packs and then it's empty. So now we got to create some folders. So this is the name of the main engine that runs this map. So right now I'm just going to call it engine. It's super easy to change later. And then after that, I always forget what happens. The good news is I can just go to saves and then go to another world. Let's go to my command test world, go to data packs, and then you see all of these data packs. So I'm going to just go into log on and open it up and just copy both of these files. We'll look at these later, but for now, let's just move them over. So down here we have this text editing app called Atom. I've been using it a lot. You can use Notepad++ or a whole bunch of different other options. I like Atom, it's simple, and Minecraft programming isn't that complicated. We don't need that much assistance really. So let's go ahead and if we drag this a little bit and go back to data packs, I can actually drag this on here and it moves the whole folder. So we've got data and pack.mc meta. So the pack.mc meta file is what describes what the Datapack is. This is essentially just a description. I'm just going to call it the main engine for the map. So there's two different ways you can approach making data packs. You can either make them modular, and that means make a whole bunch of different data packs that can kind of fit into the map and each serve their own purpose. Or you can kind of throw them all into one and then just run them from that one data pack. If it's stuff that I copy and paste from other worlds, I usually just make it its own data pack. But if it's specific to this world, then I just throw it in the main engine. Okay, so now we've got the pack.mc meta. If I open up data, there's already some files here from the old data pack that we copied this file from, and we see base, login edit, and Minecraft. So the Minecraft one is important because you see here tags, and then the tags has a functions folder inside of it, and then load and tick. So the load always has files that are run on load, or functions I should say. Functions that are run on load. And then the tick one is functions that run every tick. So load is good for setting up scoreboard, and tick is good for constantly running parts of your map. So if we go to base, and we'll see what is already built into this map. We've got run. So this is what's always running. And this is just an old data pack that apparently, if we look at it here, it did something similar to what we had. I think we can get rid of a lot of this stuff, and because we're using the tag spawned, I'll just do tag equals not spawned, because if we go back to Minecraft, remember this is the command, TP all players tag equals spawned. So we can actually copy this and paste that here, and then copy the other one and paste that here. You can denote comments by doing that. See how it all grayed out? That basically means the function is going to ignore this part of it and then just skip to the next part. So if I go ahead and save that, we can remove this file. Let's just delete it. Just simplifying this a lot. We still have the launch. We are going to use this later for other parts of the map, but I'm going to just leave it empty. And in fact, I'm going to actually rename it to be, this should be load. And run, I'm going to rename to tick. Okay, so what I just did was I renamed load and I renamed tick. So it was run and launch before, and that way we can just go down here to the Minecraft tag, and tick is going to be here. So base colon tick, that says run the function base colon tick every tick. And then the load, so let's change this from launch to load. It's going to say load the function base load every time you do /reload, or every time the world is loaded. So this actually will work now. And if I do a reload and I show Datapack list, we will see file engine. And remember pack.mc meta, the main engine for the map, main engine for the map. So that's basically all the pack.mc meta does, is it names that part of it. So keep in mind this is off. I'm actually going to break these now and see how it still works. So we copied the commands over into the data pack. We can actually make this run a little bit more efficient, because right now every tick it's running two commands, right? If we create a new file called spawned, I just duplicated it, and I'm going to remove this first part. This is basically what happens if you don't have the tag spawned, right? If I comment these out now and I do reload, I remove my tag spawned, I'm not getting teleported. Even though these are functioning files, they're not working, right? So now if I want to run it, I can do base spawn, function base spawned, and now it'll load. But it's only when I run that function. Okay, we can actually call functions inside of function. So if I go spawn, this is all that we need when somebody spawns in. We can add another like join message or what else later, but for now this is the bare minimum. If we go to tick, we can remove these because they're in the spawn folder now, and this execute as all players that don't have the tag spawned at s. So the at s just means that it's running at the player rather than at the world spawn. Then it runs the function login _ edit :first. Well, we don't have that function anymore. We removed that part of the data pack. So we want to run function base spawned, right? Base : spawned. And this executes at all the players without the tag spawned, and then it runs the function base spawn. So if we go back into Minecraft and reload, and now if we remove the tag spawned, it works just like it did before, but we're only running one command every tick. Okay, so there's still a couple more optimizations we can make. So if we're executing as all the players with tag not spawned, we don't really need to check them again. So we can just remove this to @s, or only the executor of the command, right? We're executing as everybody without the tag, so whoever's executing the command is just @s. So this is more efficient because remember we had 2 commands before, now we only have 1. But when a person joins, there's 3 commands that are run. So it's just inefficient for 1 tick when a player joins. That's the only time it's running more command. Okay, so that was pretty simple. Let's go ahead and comment that so we know what it is. This runs when a player is spawned in. Okay, so I'm going to show you a quick little debug tip, and that is this Minecraft game output. So I'm going to show you how to enable it. If I close out of this, launch up Minecraft, if I go to settings, and right here it says open output log when game starts. Go ahead and click that, and that's very useful for debugging your data packs. So if I just go back out of settings, I guess click play, you'll see it opens up the game output, and we can actually see all of the things that Minecraft is doing in the background. It's checking installations, doing all these types of things. This is, I think, related to the latest version. Something's going on. So it creates these different files, and then we go into here, just go back into your world, and it shows a whole bunch of different things loading. Here you can see reloading resource manager, default engine. It loads 3 custom command functions, so that shows that it loaded the data pack. And from then on, it just loads up the world. So the reason this is useful is for error detection and debugging. So let's say I wanted to add a command here that does something, and it just, let's say it's a tell raw, but I spelled it wrong for whatever reason. This is obviously wrong, right? This is not a command that it'll recognize. So if I load up the game, and I do reload, and I go to the output, it's kicking out a bunch of things. It's saying, hey, I can't run this function at tick because this isn't a real command. This isn't going to work. And it shows command on line 5. If we go to command on line 5, this is line 5. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm going to change that now. It'll kick out more messages later when we reload. Also, it shows here it can't load the functions in tick.json because one of the functions inside of it isn't valid. So now if we reload, I don't know if this will spit out messages. Yeah, so it's still saying this isn't really a tell raw message, right? This is kind of weird. It doesn't know how to handle that. I'm going to debug that here. So usually it goes text colon wow. I mean, it doesn't usually say wow, but that's how I test usually. So if I paste that / reload, it's still saying, hey, this isn't right. So it says unknown or invalid command / tell raw IP text wow. And it says, did you mean tell raw? Do not use a preceding /. So that just means functions do not use that / at the very beginning. So now if we finally, for the last time, do / reload, now it's saying wow every single tick, and it's kind of annoying. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. But that just shows how debugging is pretty simple once you have this. You can turn off infos, so it'll just give you the errors, which are kind of nice. So the Minecraft game output is super useful. You can actually filter by text up here or search. So now we've got this statement all set up, and it's pretty much all we have. We will add more to this later, but that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching.